I was a manufacturing technology intern at Huhtamaki in DeSoto, Kansas. So that is their corporate facility as well as a manufacturing plant. So I was able to kind of have that corporate experience as well as being able to work in the plant. I worked in their technology and development lab, and so I worked on some lab testing, so I kind of learned about some of their manufacturing processes and some of their products. So they produce paper products for like restaurants, and they produce Tri-Net paper products. I worked on comparing lab samples from 2 of those plants, so they sent weekly samples of those products, and I was able to do lab testing based on what I'd already learned. I was also able to work on a new test method. I was able to talk to some of the operators in the plant and kind of get to know some of them and ask them what they would want in that test method. So just figuring out how to make it easy to use, taking into account some of those like ergonomic factors, so how to make it comfortable for them to use. I was able to work with some engineers to design that prototype, and then I did some testing on that, and so just trying to qualify, like, does it actually work? Does it do what we want it to do?
I was lucky enough to have 2 different internships. I first worked for Burns McDonnell in Kansas City. And for them, I was on their real estate and investment team. And mostly what we were doing was developing industrial real estate, most notably warehousing, nationwide. The main things I was doing was a lot of different site selection, trying to identify different areas where we would want to put a potential location or a potential warehouse. Next summer, kind of switched it up, went kind of a different direction, decided to get into a warehouse actually, and I was working for Smart Warehousing. Basically, we were taking a packing line that they were using basically entire manual labor on it. They were pushing the boxes all by hand, and we tried to introduce a little bit of automation, a little bit of power into the process. We kind of redesigned the way the line looked on the floor itself, where the workers were and how they were kind of interacting with the packages, and try to make that a little more efficient, a little more ergonomic as well.
My favorite part was the department that I worked in, and so they really welcomed me in as an intern, so I really appreciated that. I was a little bit nervous going into my internship, but they were really welcoming and really supported me in my growth during that internship.
Internships aren't exactly the movie version of them. You're not getting coffee, you get to work on meaningful projects and things like that. There's a level of trust with these companies. They trust your education with your K-State engineering degree, and then they also trust that you're going to do a good job for them and really provide them with a good product.
While my internship experience was in Kansas, there's lots of opportunities all across the country as an industrial engineer. So I, for instance, received offers in Minnesota as well as Chicago, as well as Mississippi. So you're able to really go anywhere that you're interested in, so you can try out a new area, see if you like living in the Midwest or if you want to branch out a little bit, and there's plenty of opportunity to do so.